Hey, Jack. All right. You got this stuff?
Yeah, all cleaned and oiled.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Hot damn, it's time to get down to the jam. It's time to get down, it's time to get down, it's time to get down to the jam. I said it's time to get down to the knowledge, gonna get on down with the know. On the morning coffee show, on morning coffee with Keith, here on Pop Culture Minefield.
Excuse me, can I get a cup of coffee? Black?
Can't you see we talking?
White?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Coffee without Kit.
We're not completely Keith free. We're just Keith light for the moment.
Yes,
So,
we're guarding the fort while Keith arrives. Do not fear, he's on his
Yeah.
way. He just had to do some errands today. You know,
I
life
was-
is
I was-
life.
I was gonna say he was still in makeup and being a diva, you know. So good morning, everyone. So let's see here. We got Gambit and Andy Morrow on board this morning. Who else we got on board today? Let's say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
So right now it's just us so far. So
How's been your week?
my week has been it's been a week. We got some rain. We're waiting on it. We're waiting on somebody to come out and cut down a tree in our yard, which means I have a day of work ahead of me at some point in the future. Split wood. We use a wood burning furnace. And so, yeah. Hey, Real Popcorn Geek, good morning. All right. RPG, Real Popcorn Geek. Also, role-playing game. You know, they're my favorite letters together. All right. So this morning, just to kind of get things started so that, we're actually talking about all the right things when Keith shows up. There's no legit reason to complain. Looking at some I wouldn't say reboots in all cases, because we got Stargate, we got Rockford Files, and we have Buffy. Now, of the three, from what I've seen so far, the Rockford Files and is the only one that looks like it's going to be an actual reboot. Because if you did an extension of it, we're thinking about the last season of Rockford, then he's like 9 years old and solving mysteries, or solving cases in a complex home. But Stargate, from what I've seen, they are looking at revisiting per se. Hey, James Jameson, good morning. Let's see here. And Real Popcorn Geek, I saw the Lanterns trailer, but it was muted, so I don't know what we're actually looking at. Jamie, to address that, nobody can replace James Garner. I don't think they're looking. David Boreanaz looks a lot like James Garner. Mark and I were talking about this just before the show. He looks a lot like Garner, and he's got a lot of that aw shucks charm that Garner always had. He's just got that, that long suffering, about to get my ass kicked, and so it's, I don't know. And one of the things I was talking to Martin about is David Boreanaz does not do, anything that doesn't have legs. He started with Buffy, which ran, 7 seasons. He was only part of the first 3. Then he goes to Angel, which has 3 or 4 seasons, I think. I haven't looked at that one in a minute. Then to Bones, which runs for 12 seasons, and then to SEAL Team, which was another 7 seasons. And RPG, you're right. You could do a whole lot worse than David Boreanaz. Not bear in mind, the Rockford Files was originally done in the 70s. So, you're not so much replacing Garner as you're trying to, pick up the legacy, of what he did. And, I'm willing, Boreanaz, I'm willing to give that a shot. I am willing to give him, benefit of the doubt. He's a strong actor as far as I can see. And he has the, like I said, there's everything he does ends up with legs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing that he has not done that, Rockford Files run about 5-6 seasons from 74 to 80. So it was done at a different time, and there are some parts of Rockford Files that you can't legit redo now. Not believably. For instance, one of the signature pieces of the Rockford Files is that opening with the answering machine, which I don't know who don't know who among us is old enough to remember answering machines or actually having had one. So given Boreanaz's track record, and given it's just David Boreanaz, who I could watch, in pretty much anything he does. I think we're looking pretty good on that one. Of course, the Buffy revival is what I'm going to call it. Sarah Michelle Gellar's in it. Everybody but David's in it. It seems like. I mean, there are people who've been out of it. So, just kind of looking at what we got going on in here.
Okay. Give me a second to show something. Share screen. Someday. Come on, computer.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going at this. Supposedly. Okay.
There we go.
We have the Rockford Files. The poster. We can see our good guy, James. And then we have this. Yeah, I think he looks the part.
Yeah, I mean, if you watched him in SEAL Team,
Yeah.
He still looks about as good as he did when he first showed up in Buffy and Angel. Dude just does not freaking age. I know that there's a demon involved.
Oh no, he does, but he does gracefully.
Yeah, he just
I do.
right, better than me. All right. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean it's, but and Garner had a lot of charisma, but he had a lot of what I would call 70s charisma, in that it was the same kind of thing that made Charles Bronson popular. That chiseled feel to that kind of rough hewn feel to him, and Boreanaz has a lot of the same. So so
I I haven't seen the original show.
mhm,
I have a very healthy fandom for Garner.
mhm,
Uh, Even so, in the same way with Boreanaz, I've seen it.
mhm,
And I don't know. I'm seeing reactions all over
mhm,
the spectrum. Even in our chat, Gambit is adamantly
mhm.
positively saying he's not gonna watch the show. I don't know, man. I would
Ah,
watch it. I would watch it. We don't even have a pilot film yet.
yeah, we don't have anything we
So
don't have anything to work with.
yeah, I
So
cannot judge something when I don't know anything,
right,
absolutely anything yet, except for the main actor, and the main actor seems to
exactly,
fit.
right,
So
exactly,
I,
exactly. I
I
mean,
I'm willing to give it a try. Could the
mhm,
show maybe a steaming pile of manure? Yeah.
right,
Could
yeah,
it be
yeah.
good? Also, yeah. So let, let's
Well,
wait
and
until it's
right,
out.
right.
Now,
Well,
I
see,
like
and mhm,
I like this comment from RPG.
mhm.
Yeah, no one can replace Garner.
No,
That's true.
I mean,
But
and I don't
one
think
could do a lot worse
worse.
than David Boreanaz. Yes.
A lot worse. And here's the thing. I think Boreanaz is smart as an actor. He's not going to try and replace Garner. He's going to try and do him justice. And um, as talking about Jamie talking about doing a new Columbo. Um, you know, I mean, Columbo, yeah, Peter Falk made that character his own.
Whoa,
Uh,
whoa!
you know,
Stop
mhm,
right there. This
mhm.
question: Are you for real, Campbell? Who is David Boreanaz?
Who is David? Are you? No, do not.
Wow.
No, for
Okay.
real? You got to be kidding.
Well, I get it. I get it. He
Yeah.
is a more of a movie guy than a TV show guy.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's
No, I
understandable.
mean,
And he's got an impeccable taste because he only likes old movies. I
right.
can vouch for that.
Well, I won't hold it against him. But as far as this goes, I mean, like I said, uh, the one I would actually like to see, because Jamie, you're talking to somebody whose wife regularly watches Murder She Wrote, Columbo, and some of the other ones like that.
Well,
Um, mhm.
we had kind of a reboot of Columbo in Monk, who was OCD
Monk.
Columbo.
Oh God, yes. I mean, and that's the thing, is that oh God, yeah, and my girl watches Monk on occasion as well. The one I would love to see is a modern take on Murder She Wrote. Uh, I don't know that it could be done right, but um, it's just one of those things. But like I said, I have more faith in David Boreanaz than I do in Hollywood in general.
Yeah,
Because
he picks well his shows.
right. Well, and the thing is that I mean, I'm betting. I am freaking betting. Let me just see something really quick. Let's see here.
Wait, what the freak?
Mhm.
Did they remake Kojak?
If they did, I have never heard of it. Monk is Monk, yeah.
Me neither. And I grew up seeing that bald man.
Mhm. Yeah, Telly Savalas, man. And the funny thing, Jamie, or James, is that Monk was actually, I think, a series of books, Mr. Monk, and it was just
Yeah,
Tony Shalhoub.
I agree. Monk wasn't that good, and I think I liked seeing Monk, but not the show never got me 100% because yes, Monk was a very good detective, but it pissed me off that in all the episodes, the final clue was always get by accident, not by his mind. No, an accident that gave him the insight, and I said, "Oh, this diminished the character."
Right.
But okay.
Well, and I mean, the same could be said of, like Columbo and Murder She Wrote. They're all formulaic. There was always there was always like the one thing that gave the killer away. In Murder She Wrote, it's usually something only the killer could have known. That was usually something that, and it was something that happened early in the episode. With Monk, it was his observational skills. Monk was kind of a ADHD. Monk's whole thing was attention to detail. It was always, he was an ADHD Sherlock Holmes, is what he was.
No, he was not a.
Well, he was
OCD.
Yeah, his OCD. He was basic. Well, I mean, he was a lot of things. OCD, phobic. I mean, he was just like, if we could just throw the DSM-5, at one human being, that's your guy. He was.
Yes, Jameson. That's what I say. That Monk was kind of a reboot because it took the formula from Columbo. Yeah.
Well, see, the Columbo, it was with Columbo. Falk played so well I'm just a simple guy, And the truth was, he was like 6 steps ahead of the bad guy. He just had to figure out where the proof lived. And James, I think you're right. Monk carried the show, although Sharona was good the first seasons, but I think but
I hated when she left the show.
I didn't like it when she left the show, but his second the second one was actually pretty good. The one that really got to me was Disher, because his character was just a bumbling idiot. I'm going, how did you make detective, much less be, was it Lieutenant Disher? I'm like, what the hell? That was the one that really bugged the hell out of me. But yeah, James, Tony Shalhoub, the guy who played Monk, is an amazing actor.
Yes, he is.
I mean, his character in Galaxy Quest could have just been.
Oh my God, Galaxy Quest! I like how everybody except for Jason was freaking out, and he was, well, it is what it is. We're in space.
Yeah, it's like, wow, man. Well, the thing is there were deleted scenes. I think that his character was stoned from the get-go, man. He was like,
Whoa. We have a sudden appearance here.
Mm-hmm.
Look who decided to come up.
Good morning, and thank you for starting the show without me. Hey, everybody. Good conversation. Love hearing you guys go over it. Look, let me just say this. I think the reason why I picked these 3 shows as to be the centerpiece of our topic for today. It's because these are the ones that are currently being worked on. And Hollywood has progressed to such a degree, changed so much. They've actually circled back around doing pilots again. Because they stopped doing it for a while. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Yeah.
And they've started doing pilots again. Now, here's the interesting fact. The Buffy pilot is done. Disney's sitting on it. They have not announced whether or not this is going to go to series. Okay? They are... I don't think they've actually started work on the Stargate one, even though Amazon's had all of the components. All the people are set. The writing staff is definitely ready to go. You pretty much have reunited a lot of the behind-the-scenes staff from the original run of Stargate, Stargate Atlantis. I mean, they pretty much reunited. Okay? And so the thing about the Stargate stuff is that you're restarting that entire universe. So it's not so much of a reboot of Stargate SG-1 as it is a Buffy and Stargate are doing basically the same thing. You're continuing the universe, but you're going to really have everything rest on new characters. Okay? So while Buffy is coming back, it's not really going to be a Buffy the Vampire Slayer television series. It'll be set in the world of Buffy. Buffy and all the characters we know are now pretty much the parents of this current series. Okay? You're talking characters now that are in their late 30s, early 40s, in certain cases. Mm-hmm. And with Stargate, it's the same thing. You're gonna have a lot of the characters that we recognize now. As I did explain yesterday to Anima, here's the thing about the Stargate universe. They'll only dial into, wink, wink, what SG-1 and Atlantis covered. They will not be, for whatever reason, they will not be covering anything related to universe. So as of right now, the understanding is that everybody who was a part of either SG-1 or Atlantis has the possibility of making a cameo on this new show. But that the focus will be new characters. Okay? I remember telling this to Gary yesterday. I have been following the attempts to bring back the Rockford Files since the late 90s. I told him I first read about that in Premiere Magazine. If anybody remembers that magazine. I take it none of you do.
Yeah, it's like, not really. I mean,
oh my God. Premiere Magazine was the magazine for all movie fans. And what they did the first year of publication, in my opinion, has yet to be duplicated by any other magazine that says it focuses on film and film fans. They had articles and stuff that is just, oh my goodness. They it was okay. You know how you had Wizard magazine back in the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
Think of a very glossy, highly produced magazine for people who are very high end in how they think, or at least look. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like that for film but for film magazines, and not for pop culture and comics and movies. Okay? Yeah, Starlog, but Starlog is more 70s and 80s. Wizard became the It magazine in the 90s. And so there was a French. The thing is, Premiere is still around. For those of you that did not know, Premiere is still exists because what we know as Premiere was really an American publication of the original French magazine. So if you Google Premiere Movie Magazine France, that'll come up. You'll see brand new issues. Okay, it's just all in French, but they did this thing where in the first couple issues where they replicated some of the movies that were out, and they had these kind of trading cards that were inside. They were part of the magazine. You had to get it out and cut through to create all the trading cards, and you have the movie poster on one side, and on the back side is all the information about the film, who's in it, how much it costs, blah 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 blah. As you can see, it's made just for me. Anyway, I was reading an issue of Premiere, and somebody had tossed in as a throwaway line on some story about the Rockford Files being adapted as a movie. And back then, they were looking at Ben Affleck to play the part. And even I back then was like, he's a little young. You know, he's still kind of starting his career at that time, and you didn't know what he was going to do next. And I just thought, but this has been on somebody's radar since then. Okay. David Boreanaz taking the part is both cool and exceedingly ironic, in my opinion. In many ways, it seems that David's pretty much a guy in control of whatever set he's on. I mean, he's earned that. He's a guy that's had a lot of success, as you had pointed out, Ben.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't do anything that doesn't end up having legs.
But the thing is that James Garner was known as a very passionate man, that if he believes, he and Sean Connery had one thing in common. If they believed that you in some way were getting one past them or you were trying to screw with them in any way, they were not afraid to shut everything down and walk away. Mm-hmm. Okay? James Garner did that at the very beginning of his popular part of his career. He walked away from a hit television series, not a series that, oh yeah, it's just, some people. No. This was a hit television show. Okay. That would be like one of the main actors from Game of Thrones at the height of its popularity, like in season 2 or 3, walking away from the show. And Nathan Fillion is a good choice, but Nathan's kind of busy doing his own thing, Monkey Jeeves. That's a good casting then. But James Garner walked away from Maverick. That's how you got all the story. That's how you got the whole thing with his brother. And then you found out that he had a cousin. No, not his brother. He had a cousin, and then he had a cousin from Britain. And then you found out he had another cousin. That cousin from Britain. Does anybody remember what actor played him? Let's see, because everybody's pretty smart in the chat. Let's see if you can remember what British actor got his big American break, quote unquote, on that TV show. Don't look it up. Don't Google. Don't cheat. It's somebody we all know. No, Ben. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not seeing anything. Come on. Look, this was his big break before he actually got another television show not too long after, where he became an international star that eventually led to him playing certain character of international renown. Anthony Hopkins. Good guess, but no. No.
We're thinking, oh, no.
If it's not the right answer, how it is a good guess?
It's a good guess because he's British. Somebody
Yeah,
could have
it's a
just picked
solid
the name out
guess.
of the hat. It's a good guess. I mean, he was
Right?
definitely acting at that time.
Given when that was. Okay.
There you go. We give it up. JJ got it. He was
Wait.
first. Roger
No.
Moore.
I would say it was a tie.
It's a tie.
These two guys.
Okay. It's a tie. Real Popcorn Geek and JJ got it. Yeah, it was Roger Moore. And eventually Gardner walked away from the show. And so they look, the show was a hit. The writers were popping. They were doing these incredible episodes. So they had to fill it. So Brett Maverick had to be replaced by Britt Maverick, who had to be replaced by what was the British
Bo?
cousins?
Bo
Yeah, Bo Maverick. Bo Maverick had to be replaced by Brett, then Brent Maverick, who was the British Maverick, and then there was one more. But it was just to me, it was an example of someone who really felt deeply about not only being treated fairly, but treating also everyone else fairly. Mm-hmm. And so when it came time for when it came time for the Rockford Files, that's one of the lessons that he taught a very young Tom Selleck. And
Selleck was on the Rockford Files for a couple episodes, right?
He's back. Yeah, if you Google the Rockford Files 2026, he comes up in a couple pictures with David Boreanaz, including posing in front of a replica of the car from the original series. Now, nobody knows exactly what part Tom Selleck is going to play. Now, Gary's vote, or Gary's thought on it, was he's going to reprise the character that he played originally.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about it, it's like, okay, yeah, but then what does that mean for David Boreanaz? Is he Jim Rockford or Jim Rockford Jr.? I mean, he could technically be Jim Rockford Jr. He's the right age.
Right.
But for me, the Rockford Files is really a cool show because as much as I loved it, when I was in college, I came to really have a theory about the Rockford Files, which explains Jim Rockford constantly getting beat up, because that's basically who the character is. He's a down on his luck. Well, he's an ex-con who becomes a private detective.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And he's constantly receiving guff, not only from the police, but even from the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so my theory is that given the way that show was written, my theory is that it's written from the perspective of Jim Rockford, who believes that every single person he's dealing with, aside from his father, is insane. I'm serious.
Right.
Every character on that show is a quote unquote character. I mean, Angel. One of the characters' name was Angel. Is his contact, Angel. And wow, that guy was out there. That guy was out there. I challenge anybody to watch the Rockford Files again with that understanding. That you are seeing the world through Jim's eyes, but understanding that all of the people outside of him and his father are crazy.
Well, I mean, he's taking cases in Los Angeles. Come on.
That's true. That's true. But I mean,
in real life, everybody out there is crazy.
And that's what I couldn't figure out. I remember hearing about David Boreanaz being picked up for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember saying that it's going to depend on who they cast to play Rocky. who's Jim's dad,
Right.
because the chemistry between Jim and his dad, to me, was the centerpiece of the show. It kept Jim steady,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to find an actor who you would believe would have a very good relationship with, who would have chemistry, first of all, with David Boreanaz, and be someone respectable enough that you could buy as his father.
Right. Well, see, and I think it's the second part that you have to work, because David Boreanaz has this ability to develop chemistry with almost anyone.
Oh yeah. But I mean,
But you got to get somebody who can make it seem like, yeah, I made this guy the way he is, good or bad.
to an extent. I mean, Jim Rockford is Rockford is a really good guy who just had a lot of really bad things happen to him, and while he's turned his life around, he's like a down on his luck gumshoe version of Peter Parker.
Right.
Where he's still a good guy, but a lot of really just, unfortunate things keep happening. Not on the Peter Parker comic book level, but I mean, it seems like his life is all good as long as he's not, quote unquote, working. Seems like when between episodes, he's got a good life. He lives in a nice place, and he seems to get girls easily. And then once he starts a case, that's when things kind of, don't go so well.
Right. Well, I'm hoping because bear in mind too, one of the things that that slowed that show down, and I think it eventually ended it, was the fact that Garner was in such bad shape from doing his own stunts that it changed the physicality of the character.
Yeah, Garner's way of handling things was, first of all, Garner was the boss. He let everybody know that he was the authority on that. But what that also meant was he didn't care who you were. You come onto that set, you know who the big dog is. And that's just the way it is. But what that, for anybody else that wasn't James Gardner, that'd be kind of a bad thing. But because it was James Gardner, and again, for those that don't know, good Midwestern guy from Oklahoma, James Gardner. But he treated everybody with respect. There's the story of, from Tom Selleck's own book that he wrote, his biography, where he talks about some of the things that James Gardner taught him, on the set of the Rockford Files. And it was lessons that he took with him when he did Magnum. The ironic thing is that both he and James Gardner are on opposite sides politically. They are two very opposite people politically. And yes, you're right. James Gardner had a moral code, and he stuck by it. Real Popcorn Geek, the new Rockford Files, I think it's going to be a hardline reboot or a sequel series where Boreanaz is playing Gardner's grandson. That could be. That would help to explain why Tom Selleck is on the show playing his original role, at least to Gary's way of thinking. I don't know. I haven't found anything released stating who's playing what outside of David Boreanaz as the lead.
Right. Well, I just saw something. Michaela McManus just got cast. She was. Hang on. Here we go. And this is from Variety. She's gonna play. Where is it? I was just looking at it. There's here. Okay. Kate, an East Hollywood detective whose romantic relationship to Rockford got complicated after he publicly accused fellow officers of framing him. Looks like they also have there's another name in here. Where is it? So Greg Mottola is directing the pilot, from what I found on that.
Well, if the character's name is Kate, then yeah, they're doing a reboot. They are definitely doing a reboot, which makes it highly unlikely that Tom Selleck is back playing the character that he played originally. You know, because I can't see how you would explain that.
Right. Now, just, because we're just coming off of a recent, fan casting episode. I could see Selleck playing Rockford's dad.
Well, that was my original thought when I saw the picture of them together. Okay, hold on. Show's atmosphere, $4.99. Shows I'd like to see brought back: Wild Wild West, Alias Smith and Jones. Alias Smith and Jones was one of those shows that it became an instant hit from the pilot on. Okay, the thing that brought that show down was that one of its stars passed away, and that's it. That show was headed for the stratosphere and would have gone several years. And I really like that show. I remember as a small child, I loved Alias Smith and Jones. Starsky and Hutch. We've already had a Starsky and Hutch movie, but it'd be interesting to see who they would cast. And how funny'd soap be today if done right? LPCM. Hell to you, Joe. Thank you. $4.99. We gotta.
Thank you, Joe. We have to run two videos in this case because one, Joe's part of the family here, and
yes,
he has his own welcome video.
Hello, Joe.
And well, he needs a thank you video for his super chat. Oh, thank you very much, Joe.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
I'll buy that for $1.
It's difficult to take a concept that's already been done and find a way of reviving, if not flat out even outdoing it. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, I remember his death. Just as a child, I was surprised by that. That was the first time I ever really remembered a star that I liked on a TV show that I liked passed away. They replaced him with another actor. And again, nothing against that other actor. He's a good guy, but it wasn't the same. It was kind of like when Michael Douglas got replaced on The Streets of San Francisco. And I've told the story before about how that kind of came up in a conversation. When that gets us way off track there, but I mean, yeah.
I was seeing this comment from James Jamison, and the voice of Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs came into my mind. I will make them so hard.
Well, if you've watched Monk, you hear that voice all the time.
A lot, yes.
Yeah.
That's the other,
but not with that intonation in front of a mirror.
Right? Yeah.
The other big difference between Monk and I would say Columbo is that Monk needed those cast of characters around him. He had a mental thing going on, whereas Columbo, I think, pretty much had the entire crime. I mean, he pretty much knew who was responsible and just played enough of a game to allow the person who did it to play themselves out. He was that cat that already caught the mouse and the mouse just thinks they're going to get away when in actuality they've already been caught. They just don't know it.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah, because half of the charm of Columbo was Peter Falk playing to whoever the bad guy was. Columbo basically just stringing them along and letting them think they had the better of him.
Yep.
From
basically seeing how many different types of people would underestimate him, and quite a few. And I think Shatner has been on 3 separate Columbo episodes, or at least 2 episodes and one of the TV movies. And yeah, wow, God, I'm old. Anyway,
so like I was saying, I would love to see a properly done reboot of Murder, She Wrote.
That's going to be hard to do because the thing about Murder, She Wrote is it was designed around Angela Lansbury. So to me, you're going to first have to find someone who you could do that with. And I don't know if there's too many actresses that you could really get away with that. Maybe, no, not even a maybe. I can't think of too many actresses that I could really. I would say Helen Mirren, but Helen Mirren already has a show kind of like that right now that she's really good in, and that she's got an excellent cast around her.
Right.
In really a dramatic twist, everybody likes Mobland. Well, that she and Pierce Brosnan do another TV show. There's a movie that they did together for Netflix. Check it out. It's got an all-star cast, but it's the 2 of them together again. And they play 2 older people at a retirement village. And I think it's called the Tuesday Murder Club, and it's based on a series of novels. And let's see, it's Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, and oh, geez. Oh, Ben Kingsley.
Oh my God!
It's 4 people in a retirement. It's 3 people, and they just lost one of their members, and they end up finding a woman who used to be a nurse and joins their club and helps them to solve this big murder case. And it's got a lot of really cool guest stars, and wow, it's really well done. I have to just give them a big hand, and I hope they do more, because it's great watching them do something other than be the characters that they are in Mobland. Right. Helen Mirren would be perfect to do Murder, She Wrote, but to me, she's better suited for Tuesday Murder Club. So,
right.
Oh yeah. Yes, the Long Good Friday. Look at that. And JJ comes up with the Columbo episode with Leonard Nimoy. Yes. Wow. Let me at least say this about an earlier comment by JJ about the High Chaparral and Buck Rogers. High Chaparral would be kind of neat to do that. That was a big hit show from around the time that I was born, and the concept is pretty simple. And I think that would be interesting to do that again. I don't know about Buck Rogers, because the Buck Rogers television series was kind of a very, very, very loose adaptation of the original source material. If you do Buck Rogers again, I say do it as it was originally conceived. And so to me, if you're going to do it, adapt the book. And I think if you do that, you've got a different kind of show. It's not going to be too much space stuff until later on. Initially, it's a show about a rebellion. One could say that at least George Lucas got one or two ideas from Buck Rogers. And
when he wasn't just outright, cutting and pasting from September. Right?
Well, I mean, he took a lot of ideas from a lot of different things. That, or there's a way too many people that have actually taken a lot of ideas from Buck Rogers, because you're talking, 1920... You're talking at least either 1928 or 1929. You know, it's hard for anybody to point to anything, any one of those ideas that even come before that.
Right.
You know, Buck Rogers is really, in my opinion, at least here in the States, is the character for science fiction in the 20th century. He goes back pretty far. And wow, Joe, that's pretty good. Yeah, well, the thing is, there has been an off and on attempt to get that made. Bryan Singer has been trying like a madman to get Logan's Run done. Mainly because a lot of people don't know Logan's Run beyond the original first story. They have no concept of the other two books. Now, some of you are sitting out there going, wait a minute, there were books? And it's like, yes, they were books initially. Mm-hmm. There was a trilogy. But everybody only knows, the first one. Kind of like, there's quite a few famous stories that are actually parts of ongoing series where the public's only familiar with one book in the series. So it's not the first, won't be the last. But I just think that while these are all good suggestions, it's really going to depend on who you have that want to head up a lot of this stuff. Starsky and Hutch could work, but you're going to have to reconceive a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things from Starsky and Hutch that would not fly today. Other than the fact that I think, I don't even think you could really get away with even bringing the car back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Alias Smith and Jones. Now that could be. The Wild Wild West, definitely. The Wild Wild West, because the whole Briscoe County thing proved that you could do the Wild Wild West still.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you could even bring back Briscoe County. And again, let me at least just put this out there, given my own personal history. I just want to send out all kinds of healing vibes to Bruce Campbell and his family. That kind of stopped me a moment to hear that news. But you know what? His attitude's important. And as far as I'm concerned, the chin will win. That's my take on it. Hashtag the chin will win. Fuck cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think James is right. Jenny Agutter was stunning, and she's aged well. Even making a cameo appearance in probably my all-time favorite single Marvel film, The Winter Soldier, which is probably the highest grossing film she's ever been in. And I don't mean that in a bad way. If you're gonna like, get out of retirement or do something, be in a Marvel film. Be in one with Robert Redford as the villain, then spoilers. Then
it's been a few years. I think we're out of spoiler territory.
I'm still gonna say it. I'm that guy. You're always gonna bump into someone that hasn't seen something. I'm trying not to be the spoiler guy.
Mm-hmm.
Here, Real Popcorn Gate. Why couldn't you bring back Starsky and Hutch's car? It's not the Gerald Lee, which hurts certain people's fees. You're right. Well, it's
there's a problem because the engine is not EPA approved.
Plus, it's California.
Yeah. It doesn't have a catalytic converter. It has too many emissions. So no, they won't do it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's a valid reason. I'm just saying that they have that reason.
And again, New York, East Coast, maybe, but California, nope. You couldn't do that today. Well,
I mean, one of the things about that is that, okay, can you imagine a police department that sends two detectives out in a bright red vehicle that is, well, in most places, those vehicles are department issue. Can you imagine a cop in any jurisdiction going, let's get that bright red one with a white stripe down the side. Yeah, that'll work. That's
well, that was Starsky's car.
Uh-huh.
Hutch's car was kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hutch was the smart one because it's like, let's take your car, Starsky.
Right. Well, that's the thing is they know, because personal vehicles on duty.
Yeah, I know. That's a no. Look, I'm not saying Starsky and Hutch was an accurate representation of police tactics and skills of the time. I'm just saying it's a hit TV show. A lot of people tuned in to watch it, and anybody over the age of 45 that says they didn't watch it is lying to you.
Oh no, I watched it. I remember.
Wait. I want to interrupt here to make a brief parenthesis, and then we will back to Starkey and Hutch as everybody should. We have this the TV show. They already tried that and fumbled the ball horribly. The only good thing about that show is that Mark Singer appears for the last 10 seconds of the last episode. and I was, oh my God, Donovan! And then there was no more show, and I didn't care because the show was shit.
Right? See, Jay, you know what? JJ, I'm with the same. It's like Huggy Bear, man. Who's gonna play Huggy Bear, man?
Let me at least say this: meeting him was something that I will always remember because he was such a nice guy, Mr. Singer. I got my picture taken with him, and but everybody kept, you know what? The one thing that everybody kept asking him when I saw him, it wasn't about V. He got he got a
Beastmaster.
Yes, he got a lot of questions about Beastmaster.
Oh,
Beastmaster was awesome. I don't care. I will die on that hill.
No, I'm right with you there, man. Beastmaster is like,
I wanted to ask him about it. Well, I wanted to ask him about a sister, but that's a different question. Joe, favorite Bruce Campbell cameo. Mine is the face Darkman puts on to avoid his great love to spare her the pain of his existence. I'm everyone. I'm no one. I'm Darkman. Chills. Well, Joe, you hold on to that feeling, buddy, because somebody just is in the middle of auctioning the rights to do it again. So we could be in for another attempt to bring back Darkman. Now, will this be a reboot or a continuation? Nobody knows, but somebody is trying to work on that
Nobody
as we
knows.
speak.
Not even the Shadow knows.
Not even the shadow.
Hey. I'm telling
the
you.
Shadow, if the shadow knows, he ain't telling.
I'm telling you, that's the thing that I really loved about Darkman. Because it's Sam Raimi's modified script. you know the story behind Darkman, right?
I mean, I know the comic.
No.
Or the movie.
Where the idea for Darkman came from.
Nah, yeah. I know.
Go ahead, tell us.
Okay. Well, Martin, since you are chopping at the bit, why don't you go ahead and say it then?
Oh, yeah. It was the Shadow.
That's right.
He couldn't get the rights to make the Shadow, so he said, "I'll make my own."
Yeah, he wrote a script. He was in not in final talks, but Universal had put out their feelers to see who would be a good fit for making their Shadow movie. And Sam Raimi had submitted a script and was offering to direct, and ended up losing out to the people who actually made the other movie, or who actually made the movie that was made and released. And so Sam Raimi took that script and went, okay, well, I'm still going to make it. I'll just change a few things. And he made Darkman.
Right. So I want to go back to something Real Popcorn Geek just said here a minute ago about if the Beastmaster would get readapted to closer to the source material, fans of the movie would riot. Because the original Beastmaster, the novel by Andre Norton, God, it's so different than the than the movie, because that one is based, it deals a lot with Native American culture. It's not on Earth, but it originates from Earth. It's genetically altered animals. I mean, it's just like, holy God, how how far from that, can you get from the Mark Singer version of the movie, which is still fun, but
Hollywood had a habit of changing a lot of source material.
Right. I mean, the only thing that's different, that's the same, is the title, and he controls animals.
That's it.
Well, I'm telling you this. I am part of that the fandom of that original movie. I don't know anything about the book. In fact, I just learned because of you that there is a book, and I'm still willing to see a faithful adaptation. Now I need to read the book, because the truth,
bear in mind,
truth will set you free. So
bear in mind, I mean, you're talking about Andre Norton, who is, she was, she was like one of the Grand Masters. She is actually one of the Grand Masters of science fiction and fantasy. I was a full blown adult before I realized Andre Norton was actually Andre Alice Norton. Because science fiction was written by men when I grew up, and it was like, oh wait, DZ Fontana is a girl, cool, but it's just like, but bear in mind, she wrote that in the 50s. She wrote that in 1959, and it is, I mean, I've never actually read it. From what I've heard about it, it was just amazing.
Yeah. Well, again, there's a reason why Andre Norton is one of the Grand Masters. You don't just get given that because you earn it. You write and you get people excited so that they can recognize your name. That's the great thing about the period of time that I grew up in, at least when it came to novels and everything else. People weren't given things. They earned it. They earned their fans.
Oh, yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, and here's the thing, talking about having to earn your fans the hard way. Even Kirkus reviewers, when it first came out, like myself, assumed Andre Norton was a guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, I mean, it's, you know what? That brings me to something else. Yeah, I don't know if a lot of you out there have had a chance to do this, but within the last 24 hours, we've had a trailer drop for DC Studios Lanterns. And I remember, I think everybody can back, well, Martin can back this up. I remember when they had announced that they were going to make the show and that they had casted everybody and they were going to shoot it. And I remember saying at that time, it's like, okay, this is being set up in a way that's going to go a particular direction. I remember saying, Martin, that I didn't like this because they weren't going to follow the comic at all.
I remember you were a little more harsher than that. But yeah.
Yeah, the True Detective Lanterns. And again, I remember thinking and saying, why would you need to base that on something else? Why don't you just adapt the comic and call it good? Well, I've seen the trailer.
And
it's about as bad as I thought it was going to be, if not a little worse. I don't know what James Gunn's doing. I still have faith in James Gunn, but this isn't really helping at all, James. That's what I'm going to tell you, dude. Why did you need to do all of this unnecessary BS? You know, you've already changed the story to the point where now you've got Hal Jordan as Jon Stewart's trainer, and you made him 30 years older than Jon Stewart on purpose. So everybody that's seen the trailer knows you're going to kill him off. So, you know, you got to convince those of us who are fans of the comics to want to actually watch this. Because you've stuck these two people on Earth and you've decided to do your own version of True Detective using Green Lanterns. I could have thought of a dozen other characters that you could do that with. And it still doesn't make any sense to me why you would want to use Green Lanterns in this kind of story. You know, it's almost like you were trying to cheap out a little bit. I mean, just by making Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart the ages that you put them in, you've already changed the comic. You've already wandered away from the comic. You have flat out wandered away. You made Hal Jordan Jon's trainer. You've wandered away from the comic. So now Jon's not married. He doesn't meet his wife. So you changed that. And yeah. It's not that difficult, kids. It really is not that difficult to adapt some of these comics. Some of this stuff they just make hard for no real reason. And I'm going to tell you, I have a strong suspicion that the people behind this show are people who have never read the comics. I know. You're probably sitting there going, what? I know. Shock, isn't it? After all those years and all the Disney Plus shows where they've been so faithful to the source material with a lot of the Marvel shows. I mean, come on, right? you haven't figured it out, I'm kind of
heated about this.
also, I'm kind of, taking also a solid jab at Marvel there because they've done everything but follow the source material for a majority of what they've adapted on Disney Plus. They've wandered so far away from the source material. That's a majority of the problem that has led them to do what they are doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of wandering far from the source material, so let's talk about Stargate.
Yes. Well, here's what we know so far. Based on what I've learned, okay, this is an adaptation of what was originally going to be announced 2 years ago, I think. They were originally going to announce this at San Diego Comic-Con, and then at the 11th hour, I mean, moments before they were to walk on stage at Hall H, they were stopped from doing it. Now, I think at that time, they were going to announce a joint series between the cast members of SG-1 and Atlantis. Not everybody, but those people from SG-1 and the people from Atlantis that would like to do something else. We're going to join together in a brand new TV series that was also going to add in a few new characters, but it was going to further the story of this universe with some brand new adventures for characters that we know and love, and new characters that we would grow to learn and hopefully love and adore. In favor of what we are about to get. Now, I don't think this is going to be called Stargate SG-1.
No.
But it will be a brand new Stargate series. And again, what you're going to have are members of the cast of SG-1 and members of the cast of Atlantis. The big question has been whether or not Jason Momoa will participate in any episode. I don't know. What I would hope is yes, because nobody would be expecting that. There's lots of cool stories about Jason Momoa that I've heard about his time doing Atlantis. And I just learned this yesterday and talking to Gary and Anima that the lead actor from Atlantis actually, when they were filming in Canada, when they were filming the show, Jason Momoa and he were roommates for a bit while they were in production.
Right.
So I'm thinking there's got to be a lot of really cool stories about that.
Right.
But I would really hope that Jason would at least consider coming back for at least an episode. Just to say hi or something.
Yeah.
Considering how they left his character. Because I think the final episode of Atlantis is kind of different. It's the end of that series is not what I would have expected. And I do mean that in a good way. It's just that when the credits start to roll, it's really gotten good. And you're going, okay, that's it? They're going to stop it there? It's not so much a cliffhanger as it is to... frustrating. That's what it is. That final episode is frustrating. So... But that's what it's going to be. And it turns out that it's a former writer of the show will be the showrunner on this. And that the main writers and producers, I think the showrunner along with the writers from who were ones who worked on the show originally will be helping to executive produce and write episodes also. So basically, you got the band back together, and essentially the same people, just not everybody's doing the exact same jobs. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know,
Right.
basically they found a way of getting the entire band back together behind the scenes, and that's nothing but good news. You know, that's like if they found a way of reuniting all of the original writers from Star Trek to do Star Trek The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
If they put together the entire original writers room from Star Trek to do Star Trek The Next Generation. That's the only way The Next Generation could have been even cooler.
Right.
That would have been the coolest thing in the world to get the entire, because as it stands, only 3 people came back. You know, which is good. This is good. I'm not trying to, you know, say anything bad about The Next Generation at all. It's just that, wow, you know, to come back and bring back all your original writers, that's a feat and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So very difficult, but not something that couldn't be done, you know? So, and Real Popcorn Geek says, Momoa talks fondly of Stargate Atlantis, so I could see him return. Right? I mean, he's always doing something. The guy just can't sit still.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can tell he generally loves what he does. So
he just loves being Jason Momoa. That's his favorite job in the world. He loves being Jason Momoa. And having seen him do what he does in person, I can attest to that. I wouldn't mind being Jason Momoa. You know?
Right?
Oh, wow. I mean, you know. Oh, Joe. Oh, my dear Joe. Joe, I got some news for you, dude. Hopefully you're sitting down, my friend. I got some news for you, my man. Look, you want to know what this new trend that I am starting to notice is? People trying to take IPs and combine them together. I have heard rumors of trying to do that with some of the Irwin Allen stuff. Bringing back certain Irwin Allen shows and combining them together. Now, as of right now, it looks like they're going to take Street Hawk and put it into a combined universe with Knight Rider and Airwolf.
Now see, Airwolf is one I would love to see.
No. Right. Yeah, but that's
So
not what I'm talking about.
You're talking about Flying Kit?
No. What I mean is somebody put forth the idea of what if they were all in the same universe together.
Oh, I see.
And I've heard things like maybe the person who is responsible for designing Kit also had a hand in some of the technology for Airwolf and so on and so forth. Now, what I have heard is doing things individually, but to have enough connecting tissue that you kind of have sort of like a shared universe concept for all of this stuff. And then eventually having everything collide into one big, massive event. Add Blue Thunder and I'm there. Yeah, I don't think they'll add Blue Thunder, my friend. I don't think they'll do that. But it's almost time to really do an update of Blue Thunder.
No.
Which could be kind of scary.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Let Blue Thunder be as it was.
Okay, so here's the thing about Blue Thunder, Martin. Blue Thunder wasn't just about the helicopter. The
Yeah, it
real
was
plot of the
it was the
real
whole
plot of
political thing.
right. Well, it was the idea that it was being used to basically, it was too much power in one place, and what they originally intended for it to do. Right now, that is extremely topical. Yeah,
Yeah.
and topical. Given kind of what we're looking at. RPG, Land of Lost reboot. I grew up with that. That would be interesting. But I have long thought that an Airwolf, because I like the concept of Airwolf is, hey, you know what? We've got the weapon you want, and it's not yours. So
in exchange for what I want.
Mm-hmm.
That's the concept of it. It's like, look, I want information about my brother.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can give it to me, but I'm not giving back the helicopter until I get it, or I get him back.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked that about Airwolf.
Right.
I didn't like the fact that they had all those accidents while shooting the show. That's unfortunate. All the people that passed away due to a lot of unfortunate accidents connected to that show.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you really just pumped up a lot of the intrigue
Mm-hmm.
to that show, I mean, not just look, it isn't just the obvious stuff about
Mm-hmm.
the helicopter and the ability to be able to destroy things, but you also have to increase the amount of intrigue that you have. I've always believed, though, back when those shows were on, I was in high school when
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff hit.
Yeah, same.
And I had always believed that having some sort of a tie-in
Mm-hmm.
to actually, this is more about Knight Rider, having some sort of a tie-in and a helmet involved when you were riding around in such a powerful vehicle like that pretty much
Mm-hmm.
was just a car that could move almost like a plane, but on
Mm-hmm.
land.
Right.
Why you wouldn't be wearing a helmet? Because I mean, that's a lot of faith there, Michael Knight.
No doubt. And just relying on a regular seatbelt. No, something like that. You need that 4-point harness like on a NASCAR.
Well, I always thought it was kind of neat because it's like Michael Knight could just, he could go from New York to LA in literal hours back then, because all you'd have to do is just drive, and you drive until you fell asleep and take over and continue driving. Yeah,
exactly. Well, I know there was one episode where we actually beat a plane from to and from Vegas, I think.
Oh, geez, no.
Just go across the desert. I'm like, yeah, no. But
that'd be kind of, yeah. It's. I mean, you can't really do that anymore because technology today.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you couldn't hide Airwolf easily. There's a lot of. I'm not saying the general public, but there's a lot of people out there that have a lot more.
Yeah, the technology, the surveillance technology would make it hard to hide.
Very next to impossible, really.
Well, okay. So that assumes, first of all, that you do Airwolf as a helicopter as opposed to some other sort of flying vehicle.
What? What? What's this blasphemy that you mentioned?
Because air technology, helicopters are because I mean, since then we have the Osprey,
Too big.
But no, I'm saying is the concepts behind it. I mean, if anybody's watched Avatar, the helos on that, might or quadcopters or what have you. I mean, hell, a Quinjet from the Avengers would easily match what Airwolf could do.
I see what you're saying.
I can feel Keith's disapproval. And I get you, Ben.
Mhm.
But I disapprove the idea even more than Keith.
Right.
No, it has to be that
Now,
same helicopter.
Yeah, no, I mean, oh God, I could see it as somebody finding the old Airwolf, and the moment when they pull the the tarp.
I don't think they can because the thing crashed.
They could get in. They could rebuild.
It crashed. It went to nothing. You can get another one, but not the same one.
Oh, they could build a because that would be the moment. God, that'd be that Enterprise reveal. When you just pull the tarp off and you see the lady on there.
However, no, I don't think that show applies for today.
I don't know.
Not easily.
Because we have so much technology nowadays. The helicopter, as you said, it would be impossible to hide. It would be easily taken down with today's weaponry. So that is a show that belongs to its time and to its time only. The only thing you could try to do, is make it an intelligent drone, so it can move in ways that it won't kill the pilot, because there's no pilot.
I can see that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm of two minds when it comes to that. On the one hand, I agree with you, Martin. Technology today would just, there are a lot of Gen Alpha would just sit there with their arms folded going, they would be completely unimpressed. So,
Yeah,
and I can sit that.
We have now EMP guns to take down drones.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it possible to upscale it and take down the freaking chopper?
That's a good question. Whoa. There's no reason to throw around a dirty name like that, Real Popcorn Geek.
What did he do? What did he do?
It says Real Popcorn Geek. Sit down, Keith. Akiva Goldsman has had his mitts on Land of the Giants, Time Tunnel, and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Yeah, and we got to scrub his mitts off of all that stuff. Look. Let me just say this. Akiva Goldsman, at one time, must have had some monochrome of talent that made him somewhat of note. And then he sold his soul to Kurtzman and decided to create a show that just was just really just not even close to being anything even recognizable as Star Trek with Strange New Worlds. But oh God, yeah. It's just that thought's kind of dirty to me. Just dirty. Akiva Goldsman needs to just go out and do something original. That'll take him another 30 years to come up with something. But and in that time, I hope we can at least cure some of the ills that Hollywood is currently suffering from. To get back to what was said before about Irwin Allen, no. Irwin Allen's got a lot of really cool stuff. And in my mind, it's all one universe anyway. You could make an argument that Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea eventually leads to Lost in Space, as well as the Time Tunnel. You just write it so that some of the funding, that there's an organization behind a lot of these projects that they're doing, because Time Tunnel, that's a government project. And you could make it so that the people behind really behind well, wait a minute. Wasn't Land of the Giants about a commercial flying vehicle, though? That it wasn't just... That would have to be the future. The further on future, though. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch some of that. But, I mean, again, in my mind, it's all part of one universe anyway. Akiva Goldsman can find something else to ruin, you know? There's not too much. Look, Akiva Goldsman should be glad I'm not running a studio. Okay. Because I would never really give him any work. In fact, Hollywood would be a better place if Kurtzman and Akiva Goldsman were to just go away for the next 40 years. You know, those guys have done enough damage.
Okay. So, yeah, just to revisit Land of the Giants, it was at the time, okay, so it went into production in 1968, ran through to 1970. So at the time, it was set in 15 years in the future, would have made it 1983. And it was a suborbital space flight from Los Angeles to London.
Yeah. So Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea took place in 1984. And that, yeah, so that's only the year after. So, okay, so 1984, 1985, then Lost in Space was launched in the 90s.
Lost in Space?
Yes.
Oh, you mean the actual...
Yeah. The Jupiter 2 actually took off in the 90s.
Yeah, 1997, late 90s, right?
Yep. So, yeah. Wow. Now, if there's one show that definitely needs to come back, in my opinion, it'd be UFO. Because hot chicks in low-cut skirts and tight outfits is always in vogue, as far as I'm concerned. So,
let's see here, the British, yeah. Well, and you know, having them on Moonbase Alpha, you know, and all of them, as soon as they go to Moonbase Alpha, their hair turns purple.
Well, and again, for all those who are worried that we might be unbalancing everything, you got to remember they also had something for the gals to look at too. Some of those guys were clothed in a way. So I mean, you know,
anybody on board the sea on board the submarine.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, mesh shirts are just the way to go underwater.
It's a suggestion,
you know, but you know, and well, okay, so you got to head into them. You know, it's like, how do we make it so the guys can flex somehow in every episode? Simple, make it the way so the only way they can get to their ships is a tube that they have to pull themselves up and jump through. You know, because that will never, you know, the sub will never be anything but upright at all times. There's no set of circumstances where they're not going to be able to slide down that tube and, you know, conveniently drop into the, you know, into the cockpit of their supposedly watertight and airtight vehicles. I'm just going, guys, you know, yeah, no doubt.
Oh, that's not dirty at all. Anyway,
Well, of course it wasn't dirty. It made it past the 60s censors.
A lot of things that made it past the 60s.
Right?
I mean, it's not like the Disney animator that stopped the Disney animators from hiding certain things in certain movies.
Yeah, but they hid it. They hid it. That's the thing, is you had to hide it.
Well, that's the hips theory, hide in plain sight.
Uh-huh. But yeah, no, I mean, well, and I mean that goes all the way into Star Trek. Original series, the I think it was Thiessen was the costume designer on that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what the Thiessen theory was, right?
Okay,
Design clothing so the more closely it looks like it's simply going to fly off the character, the better it is in terms of making female costumes. It's like, so I mean, you look at some of those things, it's like they were like dangerously, they didn't show anything, but they could.
that explains certain things.
It really does, doesn't it?
I mean, I'm sitting there going, looking back on it, yeah, I even at a young age, I remember thinking, well, she looks nice.
Right. But a lot of it makes a lot of sense once you think about it. It's like, yeah, the whole idea is like, let's make it fit with just, just inside those lines, but look like it's gonna just fall right off.
Well, I like the way it complements the female figure.
Yeah. That's it.
I mean, who's against the female figure? Huh?
Right.
Who is against the female figure?
Well, certainly no nerds were ever against a female figure in the 70s. That's why we wrote it.
I see what you did there. That's very sly.
Yeah, no one held it, and no one held the female figure against us, and that was the problem.
Us. Whoa. Hold on.
Yeah, no, I was a jock and a nerd. I got the best of both worlds. So.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's the thing about some of us. We just discovered sports and girls at the same time. And,
right? Yeah.
That made things interesting.
My only problem was being a nerd at the time, and because I was in great shape in high school. I was just like ripped. And so, girls would think it was cute until I opened my mouth, and I was,
Yes, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, I'm that nerd, which meant I ended up getting all the alt girls.
Yes. Yes, the ones that were kind of. It's like, yeah, you know what? I have no respect for you, but you are willing. So,
no, I got the ones that were like, I ended up getting the ones that were like, oh wow, you're like so smart. I'm going, yes, I am. This is not what I expected you to find attractive about me, but go ahead.
Keep going.
I was like, okay, I'm good with this. So yeah.
Wow, we're learning so much about Ben.
Yeah. Believe me, the alt girls were a lot more fun than the straights.
Yeah.
But I mean, UFO would be very interesting, and it's weird because after fashion, in premise, Stargate SG-1 is a little bit like UFO in that they're fighting aliens, but it's a secret fight, and they have special technology to do it. But oh man,
but it's no longer secret though. See, that's the thing.
It's also
the final episode of Atlantis pretty much undoes that entire thing.
Well, by
So
the time
now-
you get into the 6th or 7th season, we had starships. You know,
True, but I mean, did you ever see the final episode of Atlantis?
no.
Okay, you need to watch that because I was about to say something. It was like, yeah, that's total spoiler. No, everybody knows. Let's just put it that way. Everybody knows.
I don't.
Bring Atlantis back to Earth.
Well, let's
Because
just
I
say
can Google this.
you don't want to Google it. You want to watch it, dude. It's worth your time to watch the final episode if you've never seen it. That's what I'll always say. It's just worth your time to watch it and be entertained. Because the final episode, there's no hiding it anymore. They can't. There's no hiding it. Everybody on the planet knows. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're picking it up from there. That or they're going to retcon at least that episode. So there you go. It's just Look, they're in good hands with Stargate. Stargate's in a good place, and it's got a good group with it. Now, Buffy, on the other hand, is the one that I'm really worried about. Buffy could be good, but we won't know because it's got a lot of stuff that there's just some things attached to it that got me questioning. Starting with from the moment that Disney purchased Fox, it's almost like they never even thought about Buffy at all.
Right.
They acted. I mean, really, we were doing the show. We were doing Pop Culture Minefield, the show at the time, and I remember telling Gary, it's kind of strange, we were naming off all these different Disney princesses, and I said, you know, they also have Buffy now, and I wonder how long it's going to take them to start creating products and do tie-ins and eventually get us to eventually get around to doing something with the Buffy IP. It'd be kind of stupid just to let it sit there. Oh, what do you think they did? They let it sit there. Sure, Monkey Jeebus, you're one of the few people. I mean, in case anybody hasn't been following my show for a while, Monkey Jeebus actually worked on the original Buffy series. So he's someone that's actually been inside. I gotta at least say this. I want to think that that it is going to be interesting, that it is going to be fun, but I don't know. I just I am really of the opinion, and this is going to sound kind of bad. While they have quite a few people that have been associated with Buffy in front of the camera coming back for this, which is a great idea. Okay. There's going to be a few people that were associated with Buffy behind the scenes that will also come back for the show. I don't know in what capacity or how long they will be associated. But to let you in on the focus of the show, it's going to be called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, New Sunnydale is the name of the new series. So it's a show that's being created by Lila Zuckerman and Nora Zuckerman. So with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Kara Armstrong, and yeah, it's got quite a few people, but yeah, this I don't know. I really don't know if they're going to keep everything that was done before will still be canon, or if they're gonna basically say that. Well, the thing about Buffy up to this point is that, of course, all the TV stuff is canon. Okay, Buffy and Angel are all canon because it's all part of the same universe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the Buffy comics that they ended up doing in the aftermath of the end of the series.
Right. The season 8, as it were.
Season 8, season 9, season 10. And then, of course, the comic book that they ended up doing before the end of the series. The futuristic comic book that hinted at the ultimate future of all of this, called Prey. And how all of that fits together. Now, in my mind, I don't see how you can retcon everything. If anything, I can see how you could retcon season 8 and 7, 8, 9. I can see how you would retcon those comics. You can't retcon Frey, because you've already acknowledged that that's where they're headed.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that is Buffy's weapon in the final episode. That's Frey's weapon from the comic. That's actually a weapon that was introduced in the Frey comic book, and then they eventually made it real and put it into the final 2 episodes of Buffy. I'm not sure how they're going to do this. Yeah. Oh, Monkey Jiva says, well, of course, you used to work on the show, dude. Come on. I wouldn't expect anything less. Yes, that's what I was just saying. She uses the weapon. That's the weapon that ties in and allows. That's the weapon that Willow uses to basically alter the conditions of the Vampire Slayer curse, as we shall say, to allow all of the potentials to become full on Vampire Slayers. That weapon plays a pivotal part into the end of the series. So Frey is going to happen one way or another. I just excited, but it's weird not hearing anything. And this also being Disney, it's really odd, because with everything else they've ever been a part of, they've always gone out of their way to make sure everybody knows and, give us updates. And again, it's Disney. They got more than enough money to be able to finance doing all that and keeping every fan out there excited. And considering how many people working in Hollywood writing grew up with the show, and the fact that they write just like that show. They write specifically as if they're writing for Buffy. And I'm looking at everybody writing for Kurtzman Trek right now. It seems odd that Disney's kind of tentative to let any information go about this project. And that's kind of troublesome. Let's see. The Real Popcorn Geek says the Buffy series final was a full-on Oprah moment. You get powers. You get powers. You get... Yes, seemingly it does do that. But in doing that, it also created some funny moments for the final season of Angel. Let's see. I don't know. It would be great if they could get everybody back, but I also know that there are some people that are busy. You're just not going to be able to get everybody back. I should say, not everybody's invited back. Okay? There's a difference. There's two people that are persona non grata. And according to what has been stated in the past, one person, Sarah Michelle Gellar, had to basically state unequivocally that she does not want to work with this person ever again. The other person, it is assumed that the entire cast has decided that this person is no longer worth their time. Two different people.
Okay. So who are they?
I've said it before. If you've watched the show, you know who they are because it's pretty easy. First one being Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar has stated that she just doesn't want to work with him ever again.
I mean, that one seems fairly obvious, yeah.
Yeah, and since she's one of the producers of this new show, and it's getting made mainly because Sarah Michelle is attached to it, chances are Joss is not going to be a part of it.
Right. Okay, makes sense.
This other person was a cast member. The second person. And that's the person the entire cast decided is no longer worth their time.
Is that the guy that played Xander?
Ouch.
Yeah, Nicholas Brandon.
Yeah, I heard he was kind of an asshole. Or
A
a lot of an asshole.
He's burned every bridge thrice. He's burned so many bridges. I don't even think the janitor wants him back. I'm serious. You got to really work hard to do that kind of damage with everybody.
Right.
So I feel for the guy, but at the same time, I can understand why everybody has decided, again, I hope he finds some measure of peace in his life. I hope he gets help, the help he really needs. And I hope he can, work on getting himself better, which is really what I think the entire cast want. It's more important for him to be healthy and alive, but he's found so many different ways to disappoint a lot of people, at least in the past. Now, do I know what he's currently doing? No. I mean, he could be in the middle of getting help right now as we speak. And if he is, more power to him. But from what I've heard described about some of the things that he's gone through, some of the things that he's done in order to get certain things that he needs to do what he needs to do. Wow, that's some dangerous stuff. And he's almost persona non grata from a lot of conventions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how bad it is. Yes, I remember his twin brother. I've often said, if his twin brother were truly interested in acting, just go ahead and use his brother. And I know the story about how his brother ended up doubling for him for an episode. And actually, his brother was in 2 episodes of Buffy. But in one episode, it's obvious that his twin brother's there. But in the other episode, it's not so obvious. Because he actually takes over the part from his brother for a bit. And because Nick was not available, is the way I heard the story. Michelle Trachtenberg, yeah, that was an unfortunate. I really, again, it seems like seems weird to think that she's no longer around.
Right.
A really good actress and nice young lady, and really one of the actors from one of my favorite comedies of the early 2000s.
Right.
Which I'd hoped that they would eventually, do an up-to-date version of, or at least do a reunion movie for all the characters. And now I don't think that's going to be possible.
Eurotrip?
Yeah, Eurotrip is one of my favorite comedies.
Yeah.
Right.
You will not believe where some of the stars of that have wound up. I mean, geez.
Right.
Wow. And I mean that in a good way. Hello, Penny. Hey, everybody. Everybody. Tell Penny hello.
Hello,
Penny.
Hello, Penny. So, and they can't bring Amber Benson back either because Tara's dead.
Actually,
it's a magical universe. I think that you
Yeah.
can find a way.
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar stated in I think it was a tweet, an X post or whatever, that she was putting out a major call and wanting everybody to know she doesn't care if you're dead or not. You're invited back.
Okay, if that's the way we're gonna play the game, I want Anja back. That was horrible. That what happened to her. No, only surpassed by what happened to Fred. I want Fred back.
I want Fred back too. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's like, I gotta get Fred back.
Right?
I can't believe Fred's gone. I still can't. All these years later, I can't believe Fred's gone. That is no way. Nobody should go like that. That was, even thinking about it, it's just
It's
acted.
painful, man. It's
Yeah, it
painful.
was painful to watch.
Yeah.
That's just incredible acting. And it's just to know that Fred was complete. Well, there was no chance for her to ever come back because of the way she went. And now there's a way, I think. But yeah, Fred, gosh. Everybody loved Fred. Fred really had no enemies. Everybody loved Fred. So, I don't know. Yeah. If I had to pick one character that I would like to see come back, it would be Fred. So, but I mean, I don't know. Cordelia would be another cool character.
Yeah.
Just so she could get on Buffy's nerves again.
all of them. Even all of them. I mean, Wesley died off camera at the end of the episode, the last Angel episode.
Yeah. Wesley can come back. He's an employee, technically, of Wolfram and Hart. And one of the comics that they did in the aftermath of the end of Angel, that's how he comes back in the comic. He's an employee. They have a contract. So he can't die.
Right.
I mean, he comes back as a phantasm, but He will not be let out of his contract until the end of said contract. Because you're working for lawyers,
Right.
and again, I would. Hey!
Hello.
Big Man! Woo! How's it going, Big Man? But that would be interesting to get back the cast of Angel. It'd be really interesting to see how the aftermath of that final episode went. Did they win? Did they lose? Did Angel slay the dragon?
Of course he did.
Actually, he took it as a pet.
Actually,
He
seduced the dragon, playing the ultimate bard.
Well, he didn't slay it. He got on it and rode it around what was left of Los Angeles. That became his method of transportation for a little bit, which I thought was so cool.
I think it would be nice to have those 3 seasons made into an animated show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, animated series would be fantastic. Again, Disney, hello. You've been letting Buffy sit dormant all this time, and nobody's thought to do any of this stuff. That doesn't make me feel good at all. The fact that Disney just let it sit. I get it, though. I understand you've got Star Wars, and you need to do something with that. And you've got Marvel over here, and you need to do something with that. Well, you've also got Buffy over here, and you've just been letting it sit and gather dust. And then somebody from outside of Disney comes along and says, we got an idea, and you're going to let them play with it. You're not going to get involved. You're just going to let them play with it, make a pilot, and then you get to decide whether or not you want to invest to allow it to go forward. Because that's the only way it's going to move forward. I really can't see Disney allowing this to go to Amazon. It could. I can't see Disney letting this go to Netflix.
Yeah.
Because if it turns into a hit, it's just like, ooh, that's going to be a tough one to explain to the bosses. Kind of like whoever made that deal to finance Wonder Woman 84, Birds of Prey, and then did the financial deal for Joker, where Warner Brothers allowed another studio to basically finance, and they only got basically what they put into the movie. They only got a percentage based on the fact that they actually hold the rights to the actual character, and that's all they made, and the rest of it just went to the other studio. How about that conversation? Let's see. John says, I have to agree with Keith. The Buffy brand is way too big to sell or toss away. Well, I'm not saying they would sell it, but to allow someone else to take advantage of a reboot or the return of this IP,
Right.
You're really going to let somebody else do this? Seriously? Because if it's a hit, you really do have. They're going to get all the benefits of it. Right. Just for the sake of the discussion, let's just say this becomes something that Amazon has. Amazon's going to get all the benefit of it. How does that help Disney overall? But again, I just can't believe that Bob Iger's let it sit this long. I'm drawing a blank as to what excuse you could come up with for allowing Buffy to sit as long as it has, because it's been now what, 5 or 6 years, 7 years off, I think, since they bought Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. I mean, it's not like you've got all the money in the world. You've tried to get it, but you don't have all the money in the world. I mean, you're saying what? You're going to just read. I mean, that's money on the table that you're leaving. And seeing how you're making changes in the parks because a lot of the Star Wars stuff you were trying didn't work out. And I think you're still prohibited from doing all the Marvel stuff. It would be nice to just have, I don't know, some Buffy related stuff in the parks. That would get a lot of people to come to the parks. I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one seeing this, but I mean, you do this right and you're definitely going to at least continue to retain teenage girls. Just saying.
Just saying.
I mean, maybe I'm seeing it wrong. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
By the way, if anybody is wanting to actually read the original Beastmaster, it's available on Amazon. It's actually called Beastmaster's Planet. It's also, you can also find it under the name of the main character, Hostine Storm. But the first two are in a companion. That's the first two that I could find for that. So I am all about getting the source material for some of these things because it's important that we remember and understand where a lot of these stories came from.
Yeah.
If you can find it, because I can't find it on Amazon, her Starman series is also good, good reading. But Andre Norton was, I just want to kind of circle back around to that. Andre Norton was an amazing writer. And even today, people don't understand that Andre Norton was a woman, not a guy. You can see in some of the reviews and recent reviews. I'm going, no, Andre Norton was a female, not a guy. It's not, So, but
and also to go along with what Ben has been saying, you can also read Armageddon 2419 AD. That's the original first story and appearance of Buck Rogers.
Right.
Okay. 1928 from Philip Francis Nolan. And you can actually read that online right now. I'll see if I can get the link, but you can read it now or download the PDF because it's in the public domain now. So.
Right. And also Logan's Run. Logan's Run actually was very different. And it was a series of books. There were several Logan's Run books.
Mm-hmm. So let's see if I can. Man, I need
and we're talking, yeah.
But yeah, a lot of these. Now, there is another origin story for Buck Rogers, written, I think, by Martin Kanan, who was the guy behind the $6 Million Man. And yeah, but first I will get the anyway. There's a lot of really cool books. You're right, Ben. We should always remember a lot of this stuff came from. And here we go. You can find Armageddon 2419 AD, Philip Francis Nolan. You can find on Google Books. For free, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. go. And there we go. Also, while we're at it, since we're going over reboots, returns, and other things, I don't know if anybody's noticed yet, but this has been going on for quite a while. It somehow flew under my radar. I didn't even know this was happening. But there seems to be a string of videos that have been posted, all with kind of the same, all kind of doing the same thing. But basically, according to Bleeding Cool, there's a series of videos of Nathan Fillion basically showing up at different homes.
Cast members, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's supposed to be some sort of announcement.
It's going to be, yeah, it's on Sunday.
Yep.
So all of you Firefly fans, let's assume that this is Firefly related, need to make sure you're at the ready this Sunday for some kind of a special announcement. Now, this could be the Firefly reboot that I have been hearing about off and on for a while, but I'm not sure. You know?
See, every time I see something about Firefly reboot, Firefly, it's like, oh, it's going to be a comic book. It's going to be a series of novels. I was like, don't get my hopes up.
Wow.
Yeah. Just for clarification, seeing the thing about Starman on YouTube and Tubi, that is different than Norton's books. Vastly different.
Yeah.
Because that one is post-apocalyptic, and the Starman is basically like a group of people. You'd have to find the original ones. So, but anyways,
well, Starman, that's the John Carpenter Starman, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, again, that's an Academy Award-winning film that TV show is based on. And the TV series was good, too. It was a really good adaptation. Right. Strong fan base. But I would be very interested to see what a reboot of Firefly would be like. Again, having talked about this with Gary and Anima, Gary's pretty adamant that he had his own thing to say about it, and I do understand. You have two characters that have died. So doing another one's going to be kind of different. I mean, it's going to be vastly different than the original series with two characters gone. And in real life, at least one of the actors have passed away.
Mm-hmm.
My whole thing is this. If you can at least take a page out of what they're attempting to do with Buffy and or at least Stargate, and bring back a majority of the writers who worked on the original show, I think you might have a shot. Okay, but if all you're going to do is just try to bring back the actors and try to bring in a whole new writing staff and try to make that go and just try to wow us with people who can try to quote unquote fake writing on the show, or try to make what they're doing, I mean, I don't see that being very effective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can try to mimic someone's writing style and voice, but that can only take you so far. It's one of the reasons why I think it was really not a cool idea for Warner Brothers to let JMS go. You know, I think if you're really going to consider doing a reboot of Babylon 5, you need JMS. If for no other reason, this guy almost single-handedly did some things that even Star Wars and Star Trek couldn't do, as far as being able to manage all of its media related to the series. Whereas Star Trek and Star Wars have books and other media that a lot of, not everything, but a lot of it is not canon. Okay? Everything that they did for Babylon 5 is canon. Let that sink in. Everything. Even the books, as I've said before, even the novelizations of episodes that they did, they created novels because JMS had information that he thought was important to get you to a certain place, to get you to the end of the show. It gave you clues and other things to help you further on. And one of the beloved characters of the series was actually introduced in a novel first, before you ever saw them on the show. So you learn who this person was, what their background was, and you got a chance to know them as a person before you ever saw them on Babylon 5. So that when you did see them, the characters on the show may not have trusted this person, but the audience knew who this person was. And that's part of the reason why he became such a fan favorite. I agree, Monkey Jeebus. Jane Esperson should write Buffy. She shouldn't be the only one. I think you should try to get as many people as possible that wrote in the original writer's room to come back. I'm not saying you should make them the only ones, but you should try to get it back as many as possible. If you're not going to have Joss Whedon there, you should try to get back as many people as possible to at least get us right back in to that and get as close as you can. You know, I don't see Joss coming back to Buffy. I could almost see him coming back to Firefly, though. Wow, Gambit. Tell me how you really feel. Oh, hold on. Sean says, as much as I love the Firefly movie and series, the old-time Moby Dick naval dialogue gets on my nerves over time. I have to be taking my leave after a while. Okay, John, it's nice having you on board. Again, thank you. Gambit the First. Just don't get the two. Not nice writers from X-Men First Class to write Buffy. Yeah. That's always going to be a thing. You know, again, Buffy's got some people around it, you know, and you got to remember, the the way this has been set up, while it's really, you've got a whole fan base that's eager to find out what all of the characters that you've grown to love and gone through a lot with, while it's great to want to tune in to find out what happened to them, this is also really a way of introducing a whole new group of characters. So you're going to have to be aware that they need to introduce new characters in order to really make this worth it. You know what, Gambit? I'm going to admit something. You say, okay, first of all, Gambit first says, I honestly don't like X-Men First Class. Let me
noticed.
admit something. Let me admit something. I agree with you. I'm not a fan of X-Men First Class.
Well, it had one cool thing. The Jazzy hunting Magneto.
That's because that was adapted from a different script, not written by those guys.
No. I'm only saying that's the only redeeming quality.
Yes. My advice to you is go out and find that original script. You can find it if you look for it. You can find the original what was it called? It was going to be X-Men Origins. Magneto is the name of the script. And read that. And then find yourself a nice big box of tissues or a big bottle of whatever you like to drink and drown your sorrows, because that got corrupted into what it eventually became. Because that script was bad A. Bad A. An entire movie of that? Oh, geez. We got gypped. we got gypped.
By the way, if you're going to go look for stuff on Amazon right now, is not the time.
Yeah. Hey, Gambit, that script was not written by those guys. Those guys were responsible for writing the script that combined all the other scripts. The producers thought that they were going to pull a fast one. And they created what was called the X-Men Origins films. And it was their way of trying to take advantage of the X-Men IP without having to spend money on an entire cast. So what they did was they did a series of movies that would explain past histories while also trying to update everything and keep everything in the future. That's the reason why the Wolverine movie wasn't called Wolverine. It was called X-Men Origins Wolverine. So X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men Origins Magneto, and X-Men Origins
Storm.
Yeah, but there was another one. There was another one. The other one that was used as the basis for the script. There were two scripts that were also used as the basis for X-Men First Class. One was the Magneto, and the other one was the Xavier. And that's the whole thing with Xavier's past and all that was originally written as its own standalone script. Initially, it was an adaptation, a quote-unquote more realistic adaptation of what the original X-Men comics were, which is part of the reason why I hated it, because why would you have to do an adaptation of that? Just do that. I never understood that. And that's what I dislike about X-Men First Class. it made no sense to me to do what they ended up doing in that film. You know, to have relationships that like that. It's like, no. You really don't. You guys really do not understand who these characters are. You know, Mystique is a hired killer. That's who she is. You might as well have made a series. If DC had made a series of films where they were trying to fight for the soul of Lex Luthor to not be a bad guy, that's what you were doing with Mystique and all those movies. That's the reason why all of the X-Men fans I knew of would go into these movies and every time, oh, Raven this and Raven that. It's like, you roll your eyes. And it's just like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? This is someone who took money to kill anybody. Anybody. Not just men. Not just women. Anybody. And her ability to be able to change shape is part of the reason why she was able to be as successful as she was.
Guys,
Yes.
it's that time in which I annoyingly said that we need to wrap up.
Yeah, we do need to wrap this up.
We have been going for 2.5 hours.
Well, it has come to be that time, everybody. I love hanging out with all of you. This is basically what it's like if you ever ran into me at a convention. Okay, we can just sit.
I can vouch for this.
Hush.
Why do you think how do you think I got on this show is running onto you and running into you in real life?
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're
The
right.
only way I got on the show is you said yes.
I love hanging out with you too, Ben. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to at least see you at Missouri Comic Con. Missouri Con. And I hope to be able to hang out with you come Tremendicon.
Yeah, if I can get a table.
You know what? You should go ahead and contact Tremendicon today.
Right? It's not like
I'm sure they
all
like
the time up at nowheres.
But look, I enjoy doing this, as you guys well know. This is just way too much fun. And I could do this for another few hours, but it is time that I go to because I got a lot of other things that I need to attend to before I can truly get on with the rest of my day. So,
Right? To quote Steve Rogers, you could do this all day.
I could, but I can't. You know,
Right.
all those pesky adult responsibilities.
Right?
Nobody ever told me it was going to be like that.
Right?
I wish I could just like, I'll remain 14 and live with my parents the rest of my life.
No, I don't think I'd go back to 14. Anyways.
How far back would you go?
I'd probably go back to like I was 18, just out of high school. When I was
Just out of high school? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hitting the, oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see that.
You've seen pictures of me at 18. I was like hot and ripped.
I was gonna say you're pretty fly back then, but yeah, we'll go with what you said.
I can say it about me. But yeah, we should probably get, because you got things to do like, sleep.
Sleep is something I've heard about.
Yeah.
But again, I want to. Oh yeah, I just want to thank first of all of you, anybody that's listening right now, or checking us out, watching us on YouTube. I want to thank you for spending precious time, and I also want to Give a special shout out to Vinkman's Girl, the lovely Penny, James Caserta, our good friend Monkey Jeebus, because he's cool like that. Shinatsky, because Shinatsky is also cool. James Jamerson, because you're cool too. Real Popcorn Geek, who is the coolest. Andy Morrow, because Andy is short for way, way cool. And of course, our good friend Gambit, because he knows so much.
Gambit the first.
Right? Anyway, I also want to thank Ben and Martin, without whom, I would not be able to do this in the way that I do it now. I'd probably be pretty miserable and spend my time cursing out Alex Kurtzman for an entire 2 hours. Some people wouldn't mind that, but
Right?
That wouldn't be good for your health.
That would not be good for my health at all.
Right. Eventually people would get tired of it.
And on that note, I would just like a special message to Alex Kurtzman's agent. Call me. You can do a contract like that. I've got a few things you could write up for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anyway. Oh, wow. So, look, it is Thursday. We are on the cusp of Friday. And since I won't be back in time to help you, remember, this Sunday, there is going to be some kind of a special announcement from Nathan Fillion and certain cast members of Firefly. What this is concerning? Sunday. Yeah, this coming Sunday.
The 15th?
Yep. Okay, the following Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, the following Sunday. Why did I say this Sunday?
Dude.
So, yeah. See,
We've been trying to rap for 5 minutes now. I have this for you.
You're right. You're right. So, on behalf of me, myself, and everybody else, of course, Ben and Martin, of course, see you and have a fantastic day.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Matt Damon.